he's loose again. Edwards off the lane. Like a bat, Donovan Edwards. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won. Right now, and they take a downfield shot. And the Texans are in. It's Ryan Williams. Goes to the three. Touchdown.
Vandy fans, welcome into the next edition of the Gridiron Uncensored podcast. We're grateful for you guys watching and checking it out, and I hope you stick around and see what we think about this program. Trev, Vandy's really came on the scene last year, shocked some folks. One with, we talk about the start of 2024, and then we'll talk about 2025. But just the way they came out, they beat Bama and like all these teams. They were winning games that nobody just really expected, but it's all about Pavia, man. And this dude he is something else, man. But if you want to look at 2024 real quick, it's Pavia, man. God bless. But you look at 24.
I love it.
Good Lord. That first game, you beat Virginia Tech, and that kind of got everybody, filling up because Virginia Tech had a lot of hype going into 24. You get the Alcorn State win, and then you lose to freaking Georgia State. And everybody's like, okay, never mind. You lose and then to Mizzou in double overtime. And
that was a great game, though. It was a great game, though.
It was fun to watch. And honestly, Vandy was just such a fun team to watch all year. Win, loss, doesn't matter. It was a fun team. Then you go out and you beat Bama like the way that it did. All those shovel passes. I mean, watching that with our Bama friends that are, in the comment, or not in the comments, but they were like, texting us in our group chat, they were freaking the hell out. Like, what? No, this is impossible. And then it was beautiful. And then you got Kentucky, Ball State, and then took Texas to the wire. You beat Auburn. So many close games. The end isn't exactly how you want it with the LSU Tennessee games, but then you beat Georgia Tech in a bowl game. So all that said, very fun team to watch last year. Pavia came on the scene, really opened up everybody's eyes to what Vandy's doing, the new systems that they're running. And this year, Trev, yeah. I mean, one, he's already talking shit, but two, everybody outside of Vandy hates him.
Yeah,
it's created a new level of hate for Vanderbilt that I never thought I'd see.
It's a whole different level. Well, I didn't even know people hated Vanderbilt. I thought they were like the ugly stepchild cousin of whatever of the rest of the ACC or the SEC, because I'm telling you what, like all of a sudden people give a crap about Vandy, including the Georgias and the Alabamas of the world, because they're creating a problem.
Give you the full-on pucker factor, man, watching that shit last year. And
there's actually some fear when you play Vandy. There's some fear.
Yeah, well, they better be ready again for 25, because I mean, when you look at moving from 24 into this year, 77% returning production from the squad last year, but also through the portal. Trev, coaching changes. You see anything to talk about offensive side?
Yeah, I mean they got I have Steve Gregory got promoted to DC, was the associate DC and secondaries coach in 2024. That's good for them, keeping that continuity at the defensive side of the ball. I've got let's see, some staff, Jeff Nady, assistant O-line coach, and Will Smart, pass rush specialist, former grad assistant from Wake. Those are I guess you could say the highlights. There's some other moving pieces and stuff, but
yeah.
Generally speaking, that's I guess from the primary staff. I mean, I'm sure there's graduate assistants and everything like that came in,
right?
That are going to help them with recruiting. But that's what I've got as far as what notes I got.
Yeah, and last year Lee stepped in and he did a lot he was head coach. He did the defensive coordinator stuff. So now he's kind of like, okay. He said it's a lot to handle,
he took a step back. He took a step back for sure, at least from that side, and just being I guess you could say the manager of everything.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll still have a hand in it, but defensively they're ranked 74th in the country. Offense they're 123rd, and that's one because they were still a fun offense, but it was just like they couldn't finish at certain points, but they were really good about protecting the football. So I'm curious to see, how it goes again this year. But
Yep.
there's continuity and there's returning production, which is so important.
Absolutely.
We'll talk transfer portal, Trev.
Yeah.
36th class in the country. And for Vandy, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'd have
it's
to go
really
back and look
great
what last
considering
year's.
their recruiting class is kind of lackluster, if you
Yeah.
ask me, but for an SEC school.
But hey, Pavia said he came back to play for a natty, so I mean, he must be
Oh
feeling
my
it.
God, yeah, he did. He said that for sure.
He said
That.
he's hyping up the boys. That's what he's trying to do. I hear it, but everybody else is like, dude, oh my god.
Dude, just keep your mouth shut and play ball. Like for real. Like all these
But
kids that want to talk, I
yeah.
get it. You guys want to talk, and the media are more than happy to record you on
Oh,
saying
hell yeah.
whatever stuff you want to say. But guys, just be quiet. Just let
And
it happen.
Castellanos too,
Naturally.
man.
That
Castellanos,
dude,
another
that dude didn't say a word really at Boston College. The moment he got to FSU, just started chirping
Oh man. Hey, we'll
at the
see if it
wrong
pays
time
off,
too.
baby. We'll see if it pays off.
Let's see
But
if it pissed off the Crimson Tide enough to where they just roll them.
yeah, no doubt. Well, again, we talked about the portal real quick. 36 class. You guys got a lot of good ones. Singh, Azela, Nelson, Jordan White, Coat. Those are guys like that are all going to be huge pieces. Offensive line, throughout the portal. Good pickups there. You guys did lose some good ones. Josh Raymond, Cardenas, Demarion Thomas, and Micah Bell are guys that I wrote down. But still, I like what you guys brought in. 20 in and 20 out. So I mean, that's you replace everything you lose, and sometimes it's addition by subtraction too, depending. Trev, anything in the portal that really stands out to you?
I just made a couple of notes on 3 players specifically that I think can be impact players from the get, and that's Aaron Bryant, D lineman from Texas, 6'2", 305, redshirt junior. Coat, which you mentioned, from Bama. And Gunnar Givens is another one that I kind of put down as a potential impact player for the interior O-line at 6'5", 322, massive guy. And he's also a senior along with Coat. So they're 1-year rentals. So see if they can utilize them to their full potential this 1 year.
Yeah, and I mean, talking about the O-line, that leads us into the offense. And last year it was just, again, the team took us by storm with the way Pavia was playing and their running ability in certain sets and these shovel passes and like all these cool different wrinkles that you see in the offense.
Right.
He obviously returns. He's great at tempo. They're great at ball control. And this year they're going to need more of that. And they've got an almost entirely new offensive line, man. Chase Mitchell is the only one that returns. So you're going to have 4 new starters on that line. Fall Ball is going to have the ability to shuffle that out. But every guy that, we've basically listed, Bryce Henderson even coming up from the FCS level, guys like that, Gunnar Givens, they're all going to be fighting for this. Isaiah Glass coming over from Oklahoma State. You've got a bunch of guys coming in to figure out what's the best setup. And they're going to try to, I mean, again, they want more than, what they had last year. They want 8-9 wins. I mean, if Pav is, talking, they want the natty. So, Trev, I think they had a good offensive line haul. I think they're gonna be able to figure it out, and they're gonna keep that offense rolling, and hopefully, push a little bit further. Up the total offense charts from 123, hopefully. But it obviously didn't matter too much last year, beating the teams they did.
Yeah, I mean, but that being said, they stumbled really bad against South Carolina, which I thought South Carolina was a beatable team last year. This year, not so much. I think they're a little tougher out South Carolina this year as opposed to last year. But I thought that they have a problem being consistent. I feel like the consistency factor, while there is Pavia there and he's fun to watch, I feel like that third down conversions, red zone conversions are not as proficient as they should be. So I'm hoping with some of these additions that they're bringing in to the offensive line, maybe they get some better pushes. They're able to get a run game, more of a balanced attack as opposed to Pavia do it all.
Yeah.
I think that would be a recipe for success for Vandy, is to be a little bit more balanced.
Yeah, and it's just it's really getting just getting everybody online, getting the running game going more, and not just leaning on Pavia. And this we'll see what happens with this offensive line. But if it does just fall on Pavia again, he's got Eli Stowers. He's back at tight end. That's a good target. Trenton Hudson, Chance Fitzgerald. Those are guys that are coming in. Halfbacks. Cedric Alexander, he's going to be your starter. I think he's a fine back if if we can just get him rolling. So I think the offense is going to be right in that same spot again. Again, they were good at ball control, again, turnovers. They're pretty good in third downs. I believe they're one of the tops, but
yeah, they were 28th nationally. They were averaging right around 44.38%. They had 75 conversions out of 169 attempts on third down.
Yeah. So it's just
not terrible, but definitely
no.
room for improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you just want to see them take another push forward, because last year was obviously so fun to watch. If they can take a step forward, then you're maybe flip some of these close games like you had against Texas, like you had against Mizzou, or even LSU. So that's kind of what we're looking at on the offense. How much is the offensive line really going to elevate this team?
And one thing I need to correct myself, Vandy, you did great on red zone. you were top 10 in red zone efficiency last year.
Oh, snap. Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at
93.3% efficiency in the red zone. So get to the red zone, guys.
Yeah, get there. Get your
butt to the red zone.
If you can't get to the red zone, you're screwed. But you guys are getting there, and you're doing your thing. All right, defensively. This team, I think defensively, a loaded room with a lot of veterans. Maybe it's lacking star power that people look for when you look at other SEC teams, but there's plenty of guys that have played a lot of reps, a lot of guys that can get into the fold here, and you're going to have depth, and that's what you need at Vandy. You need to have that depth when you're running this style of offense, control, but you're also going up against such strong offenses on the other side of the field. So like the Bamas and stuff that want to run it down your throat. They've got the big guys that can bowl you over. But I think this defense, Trevor, is really good up front. They're going to do the bend but don't break stuff like they did last year. Linebacker looks good. They've got Longwell, Patterson, Rinaldi, guys like that come in. What are you seeing defensively from this team, Trev? You think?
Yeah, honestly, better? Overall, I think their defensive haul in general was you could tell in just by looking at their transfer portal that defense was a bit of a focal point, especially the D line, which makes me super happy because I feel like there's a lot of teams that we've covered over this the preseason that have neglected the lines in general, and it looks like Vandy, for lack of a better term, is all in on their lines, both D line and offensive line.
I agree,
but
they got after it.
But I think the players to watch are going to be the players I mentioned. Honestly, Aaron Bryant, I think, can step in right away at a D line / D tackle / nose tackle at 6'2", 305. I think Coat can actually probably double as either an edge rusher or an outside linebacker rusher, where you have an edge rusher plus him as an outside linebacker. If we're doing if you're doing the third down thing, I think he's got that athleticism that you want to see in an edge rusher. I like the safeties that they brought in. CJ Hurd from FAU, I think he's a decent pickup for safety. Also, he has the size to be moved down into I guess you could say a flex position where he's somewhere of a floater or a hybrid. At 5'11", 200 pounds, he's got decent size to him. And they got a couple other D linemen, but the one that I like the most is Nwabasi Azalea from North Carolina at 6'2", 320. I personally like that pickup. I think that'll be a good rotational piece. I don't know if he'll be a starter, but we'll see what kind of happens throughout the rest of the summer and into the first game of the season. In August.
And I think you're going to have plenty to rotate there up front.
100%.
From the depth here, just from the portal, but also what you guys have, organically. You talked about some of the safety help with Hurd, but the guys they have already on the team are solid too. I mean, Jordan Matthews looks good. Fontenette, he's a fun looking safety. He's heavily involved. He's always getting in the run. He plays hard. So I think this team has room for improvement from where they were at last year. But it depends on, again, the offense and how the line just gels and how quickly can they gel through fall camp. Trev, if you want, let's go look at the schedule before I
Let's go take a look and see what
enough.
we think about Vandy's schedule.
I got to mute it. All right, we're good now. So now I'm going to pull it up on my screen too here. So real quick, the over-under for Vandy this year is at 4.5, Trev.
Man, I feel like that's rough, but okay.
I do too,
that's
man.
Fine.
But I mean,
I see 4 wins right now. I'm just looking at it.
Yeah, it's the schedule. I think again these preseason projections. Everybody, they got more talent. They got more talent, so they're not going to be favored. They're not going to be favored. So all right, there's your over/under. But let's look. I mean, you look at it. First game, that's a win. Virginia Tech, you can win that. You did it last year. No reason you can't do it again this year, especially with all you return. The South Carolina game, it's going to be a tough one.
That's a bummer that's at William Bryce Stadium, but and it'll be a night game, so that should be an intense one for sure.
Yeah, I think this 4-game thing is absolutely fucking ridiculous, Trevor. I'm hammering the over immediately. Like I'm not even.
I might actually put bets on this because if I'm getting 4.5, and I'd take the over on Vandy with an actual bet, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I looked at it earlier, and I got floor and ceiling here for them. My floor for them is 5-8. That's like absolutely, again, everything goes wrong. I think
this 4.5 thing that basically makes the assumption that they can't basically win against any of the bigger programs that they have to play.
Yeah, I mean
which is insulting to say the least.
I mean that's just crazy to me, especially after last season.
Because you count what Charleston, Georgia State, Utah State should all be wins. I think Virginia Tech's a winnable game, and I honestly think Auburn and Missouri, with all of the ins and outs that they've had going on, both of those could potentially be winnable games, especially being in Nashville.
Yeah, I mean Alabama. Yeah, there's winnable games all up and down the schedule. I messed up. I said 5-8. I meant 5-7. Is a floor for them, and I think probably 8-4 is probably the ceiling. Maybe 9 if things go perfect and you get every bounce going your way in these big games. But I think you go off, and let's say you're 4-1 going into Bama.
Yeah, at least 4-2 coming out of that first stretch of games.
Yeah.
Well, that's tough. Yeah, I still think they can beat Virginia Tech and South Carolina because South Carolina has notoriously been inconsistent at times, and I think that may hold true again this year. But Sellers is a very, very difficult player to play against, so that's an interesting game for me.
They got a strong roster too, so I think they definitely go 2-0. I'd probably say a loss at South Carolina. So their next 2 wins. So there's a 4-1 going into Alabama, and then Alabama they're breaking in new quarterback play. They still have a talented roster. We know that,
but they're going to be angry about last year.
They are.
They're going to be super angry,
and it's at Bryant-Denny, so it's
going to be hopping.
And then dude, and then from there you go to LSU, which is speed all over the place. They're expecting a lot this year.
They are expecting a playoff berth for LSU. It's a playoff or bust in my opinion for LSU.
Yeah.
Or Kelly's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I think there's going to be upsets somewhere. I think you'll probably Missouri.
Andy, I want you to take down Texas.
That would be
you to take down Texas.
And the Arch bus, man. Everybody's anointed him already as
everybody's anointing Arch as the next coming.
Yeah, so that would be hilarious. Auburn, I think they're going to be a really good team. They're talented all over, especially on defense.
They are. They picked up a lot in the transfer portal. They picked up a lot in the recruiting. They did. I think they were top 10. They were top 10 in both, weren't they?
I believe so.
I want to say that they were. I have to go back to my notes. I don't have them in front of me
I know.
right now.
I had to flip.
But yeah, but then you get another bye week, which is actually a nice little break. I like the stretch of games that they had at the beginning. Then they get a break. Then they do a 4-game stretch.
Agreed.
3 out of those 4 games in that middle stretch are at home, which is great. And then you end with 2 games that you don't leave the state of Tennessee. One in Nashville at home, and then one over in Knoxville.
Yeah.
So not really that bad to end of the season schedule wise.
I do like the way it's set up. I can see why the over-under is kind of where it's at, but I think they're going to get one of these or 2 of these teams that, the betting odds say they're not favored. Vandy's going to get them. They're going to get somebody. Who it is, I don't know. They better be ready each week because Vandy's coming. Pavia's coming for your ass. So
I still think Mizzou might drop. Mizzou will lose that game, but that's just me. Looking at the bigger schools in the SEC conference play, I think that Mizzou's susceptible, Kentucky's susceptible, and Tennessee is always beatable. Sorry, Tennessee.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, Vandy fans won't be mad at hearing that. So you guys let us know what you think. What's your floor? What's your ceiling? I see. Like I said, I probably 8 wins most. Is what I've got written down here, and that's just from looking at it a couple times. And but I think you'll definitely make somebody's day, really shitty.
There'll be a lot of people pulling for you, Vandy, but you're going to have a whole lot more haters this year than you did last year.
The haters will be out in force because of Pavia, but I mean that's the nature of the beast, right? You get a guy who comes in there and he's a baller and he's going to talk his shit, and
that's right.
We'll see what happens. But guys, we appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Let us know what you think. What are we missing on? Do you expect more out of this team than what we're saying? Maybe 8, Trevor. That's kind of where you're feeling too.
Yeah, probably about there. And don't forget to drop in your comments. I want to hear you guys on what you think the Vandy upset will be this year.
Yeah, which big dog are you taking down? Because I think it's definitely going to happen. Which one?
That's right. I think it will happen, but it's anybody's guess on which one. So throw that down in the comments. We want to hear them.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys around. Take care. Have a good one.
Take care.